What's up, YouTube? This is a Schrade needle Magnum Dagger. Out here in the very early morning, just having a little fun. Oh, we did it! And after this, I'll give you a little overview of this. Alright, backhand. There you go. Oh, the bottoms in these are messed up. Whatever. Rock. Alright, so there's still some water in this top. There you go. Now this one is called the Magnum size needle, because I believe they have a shorter one that's just the Schrade needle. This came with this molded sheath. It's got eyelets and slots there. It's got a clip there. Alright, it does hold it in. It does retain it. So that's the sheath. So this has a rubberized handle, lanyard hole there, guard. The blade length is 6 1/4 inches. It is AUS 8 steel. Alright, this is made in China. It's got a fuller down the center line, double edged, and a double combo edge, meaning it's got serrations on either side. And here's the dagger cutting a few more things, got some paracord. I'm going to try to use those serrations to rip through. Alright, it did it. And here it is on a seatbelt type strap. It did cut through. So yeah, this can cut a few things, but really, I mean, this is a piercing weapon and it's a self-defense or martial arts oriented weapon, right? It's a combat dagger, so to speak. Yeah, it does kind of remind you of that old Gerber dagger that's pretty famous. Got one of those. Now you might wonder, how sharp did it come? It did not come paper slicing sharp, but you wouldn't necessarily expect it to, because it's a piercer, right? So they didn't thin out the edge very much, but it was still bottle slicing sharp. Of course, I use a lot of acceleration. Now I have to warn you, do not throw this unless you absolutely have to, because I did a couple no-spin throws with this and the tip bent. I did repair it as best as possible. I took a Leatherman and carefully bent it back. This is the type of thing you buy if you're on a really tight budget. Can it do its job? Its one and only purpose in life to just basically be a production shank? I'm sure it could, right? I'm sure it could. Hopefully you don't need one, right? But self-defense is on people's minds these days, because at least in the United States, at least every week we have a horrible news story. You know, somebody victimized, old man beaten to death on the sidewalk, you know, roving bands of evildoers, let's just say. So yeah, self-defense is on people's minds. There's a lot of options. This is merely one of them. Me personally, I have a shank that I made myself that cost me $2 that I'm going to, if I ever have to use a shank, I'll use the one I made myself. But if you don't want to make one, it'll do what it's supposed to do, right? It's not a very quality piece of cutlery, as far as that steel is not that good. It didn't really come that sharp, and like I said, the tip will bend if you use it as a throwing knife. But all that being said, yeah, it can deactivate a bad guy. But I probably will be covering more self-defense items. I mean, I already kind of do cover a lot of, self-defense items. Oh, you can flip it like a bell song. Yeah, it's a bell song now. Now, yeah, I probably will cover more self-defense items because, well, like I said, it's on people's minds and people have a legitimate need. Also, I practice Filipino martial arts, so even if you never plan to have to use it, I can use this. Sometimes I train with a live blade, or I can use it for cutting sports. All right, so that's this thing. So what should they do if you wanted to make this better? Well, number one, use a steel that will not like bend, right? Use a steel that'll spring back into place. That would be a good start. I don't really need the combo edges, so just give me 2 plain edges and thin them out to make them very sharp while leaving the center thick. You do all that, I mean, it's going to be a lot more expensive. That's a whole different dagger at that point, and I have those daggers. I have a Microtech dagger. And I'm saying I have all kind of good daggers, but this is the budget option. It is the Saturday night special of daggers. All right, I hope you enjoyed seeing this video. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. This has been We All Juggle Knives. I'm out.